Hi everyone! In this video we're going to be looking at something commonly referred to as yoga butt. It's a really common injury that many yoga practitioners experience. It's actually hamstring tendinopathy. So throughout this video we're going to look at different ways that maybe you can alter your practice so that you avoid this injury. Or maybe if you're experiencing this injury, these are some tips that might start to work for you so that you can start to heal. I have experienced this injury, and so these are some of the things that I have explored that have helped me a lot. You're more than welcome to do this with me now, or you can come back to this video at a different time. If you would like to do this with me now, some things that you might want on hand include a weight, not too much. Choose what you think is best for you, maybe around, this one is 3 kilograms, so that's about 6 pounds for those of you in the US. Perhaps you would like to have a strap or some sort of belt, and perhaps you would like to have a bolster or some sort of cushion, or you can also roll up towels or a blanket. So, as I said, these are some things that have really helped me, and I hope that they help you as well. First of all, any kind of deep forward fold, you may want to practice by having a bend throughout your knees. So that's any time during your sun salutations, just to keep a micro bend. That also includes in your downward facing dog. But now let's start with some of the ways that I warm up so that my hamstring is ready to actually engage throughout the practice. So I do this before I come to my mat. If you have a weight handy, or if you have a yoga block, this can also work. Take it between your thigh and your calf, and then squeeze it in. Come to a tabletop position, and then start to lift your foot, creating that 90-degree angle bend. And then you'll notice that your hamstring is really starting to fire up. Keep lifting your abdominal muscles in and up. You can stay here in this isometric, or you can start to be a bit more dynamic with your movement and start to pulse your foot, your heel in particular, up towards the ceiling. And I typically do about 10, then release, and make sure to switch sides. Coming back to those pulses, maybe try doing somewhere between 6 and 10, then release, remove the weight. You're more than welcome to do that again on the right and left, or as many times as you think would help you to feel how your hamstring engages in a natural context. Another way that I also like to warm up is by going into a version of a bridge pose. I take my feet a little bit wider than normal and then lift up through my hips. Rather than holding here, I find some movement so that my muscles know when to fire and when to release. So you might do that too by finding some circles with your hips, feeling almost like you're trying to move a hula hoop around. You do that in one direction, and then take those circles, those hula hoops, in the other direction. You're also welcome to play with some pulses, so lowering and then lifting your hips back up. As you do this, you might want to feel as if you're trying to pull your heels a little bit closer to your shoulders to feel how that engages through the backs of your thighs even more. Feel free to release and lower whenever you like. You can then hug your knees in to give your lower back a little bit of a massage by rocking side to side. Again, you're more than welcome to continue that exploration, to try maybe some other movements of dropping one hip and then the other while you're in your bridge. Just see what works for you and see if it's any help. So now throughout your practice, in particular, I'm going to look at 2 postures now that you might want to find different ways of working through. So the first one is locust. If you come to your belly, bring your palms face down by your hips, lift up into your locust. Find that length as you lift up, and then work with bending your knees, finding a micro bend through your knees. That action creates muscular activation throughout your hamstrings. You can play with straightening and bending as you work through this posture. Lower yourself back down when you're ready. If you need to, you're welcome to windscreen wiper your feet from side to side. And now the last pose to look at is Pashimotanasana. So bring your legs out in front of you. Just rock back and forth to feel your sit bones ground down. If you have a strap or a belt or a scarf or even a towel, you can use that now. So take that around the balls of your feet and then pull the strap back, finding your biceps will engage here as you then stretch through the backs of your thighs. So this is a stretch of your hamstring, and you really, if you're experiencing any sort of pain, discomfort up near your sit bones, you don't want to take this stretch too far. Overstretching your hamstring can be a problem, especially if you are experiencing any sort of tendinopathy or pain. So feel free to release. That's one option. Another option is if you have a bolster or something like it, you can place it between your abdomen and your thighs. Then you can lift up and fold forward into your Pashimotanasana. It prevents you from going into a full range of motion, which means that often you don't overstretch. Stay here as long as you like, and then release. And lastly, you can put something under your knees. And then press your knees down into whatever is under them. Again, lift up, find length through your spine. Maybe inhale. And then on an exhale, fold forward. You're welcome to stay as long as you like, or you're welcome to come out at this time. So these are just some options that you might want to play with. There might be other options that you find that work really well for your own body. The invitation is for you to work through your range of motion and try to prevent any injury that might happen. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.